name's Carlyn, and today's class is yoga for anxiety or stress. We're going to do some breath work, some gentle and some deeper stretching, and a little bit of grounding and balance work. So whenever you're ready, we're going to get started in a seated meditation. So I like to prop my hips up on something like a block, a blanket, or a pillow. Just helps my spine to be a little bit more erect, my hips a little bit more comfortable in this seated position. So whenever you find a comfortable seated position, and of course, if sitting is not in the cards today, you can lie down on your back. Close your eyes right away. And without changing anything, just notice your breath as it is in this moment. Take note of the length of the inhales and the exhales. Again, without any manipulation of the breath. Notice where you feel the breath moving in the body. And as you're noticing your breath, start to notice the body as well. Starting at the top of the head, just doing a quick 20-second body scan. Noticing the parts of the body that feel uncomfortable, tight, tense. Noticing the parts of the body that feel comfortable, loose, relaxed. Noticing the parts of the body that just feel neutral. Maybe take notes of certain parts of the body that we don't always give our attention to. Noticing the fingertips, the ankles, the toes, maybe the side body, the shoulder blades. Once you've done that body scan, let's take a couple really deep breaths. Breathing in through the nose, expanding the chest and the belly. And as you exhale, breathing out through the mouth. Nice long inhale. Chest expands. Exhale, let it go. And as we move throughout class today, know that every exhale is the opportunity to let go of something. Your focus is gently on your breath, but if it starts to wander, the mind starts to think, just bring it back. I invite you to maybe start counting the breaths. When you breathe in, that's 1. Breathe out. That's 2. Breathe in. That's 3. Breathe out. 4. All the way to 10, and then start over at 1. Just for a few seconds now, let go of all your focus, your attention, your awareness of the breath and the body. And just let your mind do whatever it wants. Let it think, let it worry, let it analyze. And then come right back to your breath. End this seated meditation with 3 cleansing breaths. Deep breath in through the nose. Exhale, big sigh out. Again, inhale, fill up. Exhale, let go. Last time, inhale. Exhale, let it go. And gently open the eyes, circle out the wrists, move through the fingertips. Anything that feels good, maybe take some circles with the neck. Starting to wake up the body, noticing how it feels after a few moments of stillness. When you're ready, interlace your hands behind your back, squeeze your shoulder blades together and reach the knuckles towards the floor, opening the heart. And gently let go. If you were sitting on a block or a pillow, just set that off to the side for now. Come onto all fours in a tabletop position. And just take a moment to move around, maybe draw some circles. If cat-cows feel good, you can go there, dropping the belly, lifting the gaze, tucking the chin, rounding the spine. A child's pose might feel nice. Stretching out the wrists, bringing the shoulders forward. When you're ready, come back to a neutral tabletop position. We'll focus on grounding throughout class today. So notice all the parts of your body that are touching the floor beneath you and really grip the floor. Notice that strong, firm foundation. Press the ground away from you. And when you're ready, take your left toes back and just start to take some rocks back and forth. You'll feel an opening in the left calf. And then from here, listen closely, pivoting on the right shin so that it's parallel to the top edge of the mat, and pivoting on the back foot so that it's parallel to the bottom edge of the mat. Reach the left fingertips up to the sky. You're in a modified side plank here. Still pressing the ground away from you, pressing into the pinky edge side of the left foot. And you can stay here or you can find a nice side body stretch, taking that left arm up and over the head. Maybe draw some big circles here, opening up the shoulder. Sticking with your breath as you move. Eventually, you'll reverse those circles, taking them in the opposite direction, making them nice and big. Eventually, find stillness once more. And then plant the left hand and walk both of the hands right underneath the shoulders. So we're in this modified side lunge here. And from this position, just really press down into the left foot. Feel the left inner thigh start to stretch. Keep the chest nice and proud. And if you feel good here, maybe you start to walk the fingertips forward and send the hips back, melting the chest towards the ground, opening the heart. Breathe here. as you're ready, start to walk the hands back underneath the shoulders and then make your way back to a tabletop position. We'll take all of that on the other side, stepping the right foot back this time and taking some rocks back and forth. Notice that my foot is off the mat right now. You're not confined to these four corners. Sometimes I even like to practice without a mat, just keeping everything nice and open. And after a couple rocks here, you'll feel the calves and even the wrists start to open up. And eventually, just like we did on the other side, just take a little pivot turn on that left knee so that the left shin is parallel to the top edge of the mat. And then plant that right foot down on the ground, parallel to the bottom edge of the mat. And reach the right fingertips up to the sky. Modified side plank here. Stay, feel grounded, press the ground away from you. Or stretch the side body by taking the right hand up and over the head. Really extend your fingertips forward. And maybe you take some circles here, opening the shoulder. After about 3 big circles, you'll take them in the opposite direction. Eventually, come back to stillness, wherever that is for you. Invite the breath into the body. And then plant the right hand and walk the hands forward in front of the shoulders. I'm going to move back a little bit so I have more room. And then from here, you can stay in this side lunge, opening up that right inner thigh. Or maybe you start to send the hips back and walk the hands forward, melting the chest to the ground. As you're ready, start to walk the hands back in underneath the shoulders and make your way back to your tabletop position. Walk those hands past the shoulders, spread the fingertips wide, and come into your first downward facing dog of class. So find a downward facing dog that feels good in the body. That could be knees super bent, chest really close to the thighs. That could be up on your tippy toes, heels really far from the mat. And that could be heels reaching down towards the mat even if they don't touch. Wherever you are, feel rooted firmly in all the places where your body meets the mat. If you're in a downward facing dog with your heels melting towards the ground, really try and press the backs of your thighs farther behind you. Lift your hips a little bit higher wherever you are. And as you're ready, start to walk the feet up to the hands. Maybe the hands come to meet the feet towards the center of the mat. Hang in a ragdoll, grab opposite elbows. Let the head and the neck be heavy. Rock side to side. Doesn't matter what this looks like, just matters what it feels like. It's important that the breath is still flowing in the body. And your focus is right here in this moment. As you're ready, start to let the fingertips just fall down towards the earth. Bend the knees as much as you need to. Connect the chest to the thighs. Tuck the chin to the chest. And slowly roll up to standing, one vertebrae at a time. Opening the back, especially the upper back and the mid back. And bring your left hand to your heart and your right hand on top of your left. Another deep breath here. Take an inhale, reach the fingertips up to the sky. Exhale, cactus the arms, squeeze the shoulder blades together, find a little mini back bend. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, cactus. One more time, inhale, reach up. Exhale, cactus the arms, find a mini back bend. And this time come all the way down to a forward fold. Planting the hands on the mat. Again, bend your knees as much as you need to achieve that. Maybe walk your hands forward, lift your hips up, and then take an inhale, lift up halfway, bring your hands to your shins, and then bring your hands to your hips and come all the way up to standing. We'll move into some balancing postures, stepping up a little bit further towards the top of the mat. We'll start with just a simple tree pose on the right side. So grounding down through all four corners of your right foot, really press down, feel rooted in that space. Keep a gentle bend in the right knee. You'll start by just taking that left foot to a kickstand. This is a tree pose, this is a perfect place to stay. Find a couple breaths here. If you feel sturdy here, you feel grounded, your breath is flowing, maybe you take that foot to the shin. It's okay to wobble, but if you start to forget to breathe, take it back a notch to that first kickstand. And if you feel good here, bring that left foot all the way up to the right inner thigh. Pressing the left foot into the right inner thigh, and the inner thigh back into the foot. Opposite energies moving together. You can feel free to bring your hands to heart center. Breath is big, maybe you grow your tree, extending the branches up to the sky, relaxing the shoulders down the back. And from here, wherever you are, press down even harder into all four corners of your right foot and start to bring your left knee into your chest, even if it takes a couple steps to get there. Maybe you bring your hands back to heart center, find a little bit more stability here. And we're gonna really slowly step all the way back to a crescent lunge, sending the left heel towards the butt, and then moving it back, bending into that right knee, and stepping the left foot as far back as it will comfortably go, maybe taking a couple inches back once you arrive, and you're in this crescent lunge. Take a couple breaths here. And as we transition to this new posture, again, take a moment to feel rooted where you are. Notice the parts of the body that are touching the ground and press down into those body parts. Keeping your hands at heart center, take a big inhale, grow the spine a little bit taller. And on your exhale, twist to the right. Hugging the inner thighs together, taking the right hip back. If this feels good, you might come to an even deeper twist, hooking that left elbow outside of the right thigh. A little bit of wobbles is okay. If you're here, gaze up past your right shoulder if you can. And keep breathing. And then from here, plant the hands to frame the right foot, maybe coming onto the fingertips, and just start to straighten through that front leg as much as you can. Maybe bringing the left toes in just a couple inches, rocking the hips side to side, eventually just melting forward into this fold. Bending back into that right knee, stepping that left foot just a couple inches back. Bring the left knee down to the ground and untuck the toes. Sink into the right hip. Feel it start to open. It's said that we store a lot of our intense emotions in the hips, which is why they can be hard to stretch to open up. We're going to use our breath to stretch them out today. Coming into a pigeon pose, starting to walk that right foot towards the left wrist, and bringing the right shin down to the ground. If this feels okay, maybe send the left toes back a little bit further. You can always bring this heel in towards the center of the body. That'll make this pose a little bit more accessible. You can also come down to the forearms and maybe bend this left knee coming down onto the right hip. And you can also always take this on your back if that's more accessible, crossing the right heel over the left knee and hugging the left knee into the chest. If you choose to come here, just make sure you're keeping a flex in your right foot to protect the right knee. I'm gonna stick with a traditional pigeon pose today. If you still have that block or that pillow nearby, you can always use it to bring them out a little bit closer to your body, maybe resting your forearms or your forehead on it. And just like we did in our meditation, just take first few seconds here to just notice. Notice the breath. Notice the quality of the breath, where it seems to be moving in the body, where it might get stuck, whether it's deep or shallow. And then begin to take deeper breaths in through the nose, out through the nose or the mouth. As you're breathing deeply, start to scan the body, noticing again from your head to your toes where you feel discomfort or tension, where you feel relaxed or good, and where you just feel neutral. We tend to feel a lot of tension or discomfort in our hips in this posture, especially the right hip. If you're on the same side as me right now, breathe even deeper. Imagine your breath as a color. And as you breathe in, that breath, that color, moves throughout the body. Watch it travel all the way to the hip. And as that color takes up space, filling the body wherever you feel tension, just allow it to dissipate. As you're ready, we'll start to walk the hands back into the center of the body. Coming upright for just a breath or two. And then stepping right back to your downward facing dog. And from your down dog, look forward and start to walk the feet all the way up to the hands. Inhale, look up halfway. Exhale, fold forward. Feel free to grab opposite elbows, ragdoll. And then let your fingertips fall back down to the ground. Tuck the chin and roll all the way up to standing. Just one vertebrae at a time. And we'll do that all on the other side. Stepping slightly forward on your mat. This time grounding through all four corners of the left foot. Before you do anything, feel really strong in that left foot. Keep a nice gentle bend in the left knee. And take this one step at a time. Bring your right foot to a kickstand, opening up through that knee. Take a couple breaths here. This side will most likely feel different from the other side. Once you start to feel good here, you might bring the right foot to the shin. Rooting down with the left foot, reaching up with the crown of the head. Using your breath to find balance. Finally, if it feels okay today, you can bring the right foot all the way up to the left inner thigh. Once you get situated there, pressing right foot into left thigh and left thigh back into right foot. Maybe you bring your hands to heart center. Pressing down to lift up. Maybe you grow your tree. Reach the fingertips up to the sky. Relax the shoulders. And when you're ready, bring your hands back to heart center if they went elsewhere. Wherever you are, take as many steps as you need to gently bring your right knee into your chest. Not necessarily your chest, just keeping your right knee kind of at hip height. And then from here, we'll take that really slow transition to a crescent lunge, bringing that right heel towards the seat, and then slowly stepping it all the way back. You'll start to bend the left knee and gently come into your crescent lunge. Keeping your hands at heart center, maybe wiggle back a couple inches. Find a place that feels good. And just let the breath get used to this new position. Let the mind get acclimated. The next time you inhale, really focus on growing the spine a little bit taller. And on your exhale, twist to the left. Hug the inner thighs together. Send that left hip back. You might feel good here and you might stay. You might come into a deeper variation by hooking that right elbow outside the left thigh. Press thigh into elbow and elbow into thigh. Maybe gaze up past your left shoulder. Deep breaths. As you twist, think about wringing out anything that doesn't belong, that doesn't need to hold space in your body right now. And as you're ready, look down at your left big toe and plant your fingertips on either side of your left foot. Straightening through the left leg, maybe bringing that right foot in a couple inches, taking a little bit of movement, and then just folding forward. Start to bend back into that left knee and just plant your right foot just a couple inches behind where it just was. Drop the right knee and untuck the back toes. Again, stay here for a minute, breathing into the hip. Right away, noticing if this feels different or similar to the previous side. And we'll move into pigeon on the left side, walking the left foot in towards the right wrist, and then letting the outside of that left shin just settle on the ground. Maybe tuck the right toes, lift the knee, and send the toes back a couple inches. Again, if you need to walk your heel into your seat, in towards your center, please do so. Maybe you come down onto your forearms. Again, maybe you use that block or that prop. You always have the option to bend that right knee like I showed on the other side, coming a little bit more onto your left hip here. This might be a little bit more comfortable for the hip flexor and the knees. And you can always take this on your back as well. Wherever you are, just know that we're looking for that same physical sensation that we found on the other side, not the same physical appearance. Our bodies are not symmetrical, so don't feel like you have to do the same thing that you did on the other side. Maybe on this side, you chill out a little bit more, come into a gentler variation. Maybe on this side, you need to go a little bit deeper. And again, think of a color. Each time you breathe in, breathe that color in. And watch the breath, the colored breath, move to all the different parts of your body. Watch it clear away the tension in the hip. If you're using any props, just gently start to remove them, walking the hands back into the center of the body, tucking the back toes, and just moving back to your downward facing dog. It's okay if the mind started to wander, as long as you always come back. When you're ready, drop your knees, and we'll come on to our seats for a forward fold. Flexing the feet so the toes are pointing towards the face. Plant the hands on either side of the hips. Press down into the heels of the hands. Tuck the chin slightly to the chest. Hold the belly button into the spine. This should feel pretty intense, even if it doesn't look pretty intense. And then try and keep everything the same here, but just reach the fingertips up to the sky. And as you exhale, hinge forward at the hips. And let the hands land wherever they land. If that's the feet, great. If that's the shins, great. You just want to keep them by your sides. That's awesome too. Maybe you grab onto the big toes. Wherever you are, keep a nice long spine. Keep your gaze forward. You can start to feel discomfort in this pose, intense stretch of the hamstrings. Use your breath to combat that. One more breath. When you're ready, just start to walk the hands back about half a foot behind the seat. Come on to the left foot and then the right. We're coming to a reverse tabletop position. Press into the hands, fingertips face the heels. Press into the feet and lift the hips up to the sky. You can keep your chin tucked to your chest if that feels better. If you want to completely let go here, if it feels okay in the neck and the throat, you can let your head hang heavy. 2 more deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. Last one in through the nose, out through the mouth. And slowly let go. Bringing the seat back down to the ground. And bring your knees into your chest and just tuck the chin to the chest, curling up into a tiny little ball. When you're ready, we'll come back to a seated position, just like we started class. So if you want to grab that block, blanket, or pillow to stick right underneath your hips, feel free to do so. And as you come into this seated position, however it feels good, maybe it's a lying position. Just breathe. We'll end with a slightly different, more energizing breath practice than we did in the beginning of class. So this is called Kalabhati Breathing or Bhastrika breath. It's a passive inhale and a really forceful exhale. So if you start to do it and it doesn't feel good in your body, just come back to a deep breath in and a deep breath out. If you're coming with me, I'll demonstrate first. It's a passive inhale and then quick exhales. And as you breathe like this, you'll start to feel your belly push out, 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 out. You're audible. Your exhales are really audible through the nose. So come to seated, nice and tall. We'll do 2 rounds of this Kalabhati breath. Maybe you bring your hands to your stomach or your heart if that would feel better. We'll start with a cleansing breath in through the nose, out through the nose. Begin. Deep inhale. Exhale, sigh it out. Sit still and notice. Sometimes after this breath, I feel a lightness, even like a dizziness or a tingling sensation in the head space. And we'll go for round 2, starting with a cleansing breath in through the nose, out through the nose. Begin. deep breath in. Exhale, sigh it out. Pause and notice. Bring your hands to heart center. And bring your thumbs to your third eye center, the space right in between the eyebrows. Keeping the thumbs and the pinkies touching, peel the 3 middle fingers away from each other, creating an opening to let the light in, remembering that there's always light to be let in. Thank you so much for practicing with me. Namaste. Namaste everyone, thanks so much for joining. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel for lots of free yoga classes, and please let me know what you liked about this class and what style classes you'd like to see more of. Bye.